It is officially November, guys, and it is officially the first time we have two Sonic Gray FL5s in the shop. So this is Jose's car. We're doing the spoon rigid collar kit, front and rear, as well as the front sway bar, and also the hard race compliance bushings. That's going to be a separate video. Today I want to show you guys this beautiful Sonic Gray with the Regas and these nice beefy 275/35 RE71 RS's squared. This is Pete over there. This is his daily driver. He has a 1,000 horsepower plus Supra Mark IV back at home. That's his baby. This is his daily driver. So I think he just hit around 20-ish thousand miles. We got a nice set of Paragon P3 brake pads going in. So these are the fronts, these are the rears, pretty obvious. And if you guys are interested in purchasing a set, I'll put the link down below where you can order the fronts and rears. We also have the P2s, the R5s, and the R7s. The P3s are a semi-metallic material. They are one step below the R5, which is a pretty, I would say, a medium-duty track pad. And then the R7 is like a full-duty racing pad. So these are going to be able to handle some light track days, but mostly good for street and some back roads driving as well. And because of the miles, and we're looking at the brake fluid, it is on the darker side. So we have a moisture level meter. We're going to see what the moisture level is at. If it's above 2%, I would definitely recommend flushing out the brake fluid. And then the other tool we're going to need, I have an Autel scanner. You don't need one this fancy, but you do need some sort of OBD scanner that will allow you to put the rear parking brakes into maintenance mode. So we have this, and we're going to do that. If you don't have a scanner like this, you could do it manually by retracting the parking brake by hand. You have to take off the motor and then use an Allen key and retract it, and then you can compress the rear caliper pistons by hand as well. All right, so we got to go ahead and do the brake fluid. We're going to be using ATE Type 200 DOT4 racing fluid. So we have the vehicle plugged into our Autel, and now we're going to put this thing into parking brake service mode, and this way it pulls the parking brake motor all the way fully retracted. That way we can compress the rear caliper pistons without any issues. Sorry for all the background. We got a bunch of our boys in the back. Enter brake pad maintenance mode. Click OK. And now we're going to click OK, and we're going to hear the parking brakes retract. There we go. We're also going to bleed the brake fluid. And on this car specifically, normally you would go from furthest away from the master towards the front, but on these type bars, you actually have to do closest to the farthest away. Then you hit the parking brake on and off 5 times, release it, and then you bleed the rears again. So that's just like the factory service way to do it. So we'll start from here and the front right, then the rear right, and then rear driver. All right, guys, here is the easiest way to do the rears. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna pop off these little rubber caps on the slider pins, and it's going to expose us to a 7mm Allen. And from factory, the parking brake goes straight up here, so you actually can't put a 7mm socket here. It will hit, so you have to use an Allen key, 7mm, and you just go in here, and you gotta back it out by hand. Pretty annoying because this bolt is pretty long. This one you can use a socket as well. It's always a good idea to fully remove these pins and then grease them, clean them, and then grease them so that make sure that they're always sliding properly. Otherwise, your brake pads can jam up, they get seized, whatever it might be. So let's fully remove these two, and then we'll take the caliper off. Other thing I like to do, get a 10mm socket. We are going to prepare and crack the bleeder screw loose, and we're gonna put our one-man bleed bottle on, so that way we can push in the caliper piston by hand and all the fluid will go into the bottle. That way when we bleed later on, when we do the full 4 corners, there'll be a little bit less fluid to bleed out, and then that way you can actually push it in by hand. You don't need any special tools for compressing the piston. And these don't have a lot of torque on them, so they'll come out really easily. That is it. You get a little screwdriver and you can pull them out. Get a pair of pliers, and we'll go ahead and remove our retaining clip.
It's not a floater, it shows you.
Clip is now removed.
It's actually really cool.
And should slide right off, as you can see. All right, so one thing to note, the pad that has the little spring clip goes on the inside. The pad without the spring clip goes on the outside. You can see that these pads, they're getting pretty low, but not completely bald. There's still a couple millimeters left on them. That's good. The rears always go out faster than the fronts. So now we'll get a little wire brush. We'll clean out these spots for the pads, and then we'll get the new pads. We'll grease them up and put them back in. And then for this, we need to compress the piston. So what I usually do is I'll prep our bleeder bottle. This is a one-man bleeder bottle, so it's got a check valve so air doesn't go back in. And you could just compress the piston in all the way by hand. And I think just like that, it bottomed out. So now let's close up our bleeder bottle, bleeder screw, and then we'll bleed them fully later on. All right, so we take a look at the piston, fully retracted. And now let's go get a wire brush. We'll clean up the ears and prep the pads. 66 turbos and NOS, Motec system exhaust. All right, so we're just gonna clean out these things. That way pads can slide nicely on the surface. Hit it with a little brake cleaner too. The car is still fairly new, you don't gotta go crazy. The pads came out really easily too. Yeah, all right, good to me. All right guys, so we got our new pads and we have some ceramic brake parts lube at a brand new bottle. And we're gonna grease these ears. Don't gotta go too crazy, but you just wanna put on a good amount so that you don't get any noises. We'll do the same for the rears.
In the car for what? That seat.
Alright guys, so now we're gonna grease a little bit on the back side of the pad. That way the parking brake motor doesn't get stuck to it. There you go. And then on the caliper, pull out these pins. These pins get dried up sometimes, so we'll pull them out, give them a quick clean, and then we'll grease these two. I just like to spread it with my fingers and then back in. Do the same for the others.
Right now.
Do the same for this one. Alright, now the caliper is set back in place, and now we're going to tighten out these 7mm Allen heads and put the retaining clip back on, and we're all set with the rear pads. Alright guys, we're going to work on the fronts now. I like to use this little tool. It is basically a pin with a little hole on the end, a little dimple. That way it sits right over the Brembo pin and it doesn't slide off when you hit it and accidentally smash your beautiful red calipers. So we just pop it out, and then pop it out. And we're gonna take out all this hardware, clean it up, and grease them nicely. So kind of push down. These are been in here for a while, so nothing comes out easily.
No, they're Paragon P3s. I think they're slightly more.
Come on, there we go. So we got the hardware out. Go ahead, clean this up with some brake clean, and we'll grease them back up before we put it together. And for these, we can just kind of pull on the pad a little bit. The pistons will retract a little bit, and then you should be able to just pull them out by hand. These Brembos still had a ton of life left on them, but since we're switching the pad compound on the back to P3s, we'll just do that as well. There you go. And then the pistons, you can actually push in by hand as well. Alright, so we got my old tube, a lubricant, and we got the new P3 pads. We are going to grease up the backing pads on these to reduce any noise. Paragon also sells optional titanium shims. We opted against those per the customer's request. So we're just gonna run them without them. It's no big deal. All right, now after we compressed our pistons, should be able to get them right back in, no problem. Now, all right, clean up the hardware, grease it a little bit. Alright guys, we just finished up the brake pad install. We're gonna move ahead with the fluid flush. So the torque specs on the front bleeders, they are a 10 foot-pounds, and then the rears are 13 foot-pounds. Always good idea to torque things when you can. So we're gonna fill up the master with the AT Type 200, and we're gonna bleed from the front left in a clockwise fashion per the factory guidelines.